Good morning. It's Jen May, and I wanted to talk a second um, about change and about how life evolves and how you evolve and how life is really an evolution. And I want to touch on this before you get the next email on your changing hormones and inflammation and muscle tone and how that all contributes to midlife weight gain or menopause weight gain and stubborn fat loss. Before I dive into that, I want to talk a second about change because one of the biggest mistakes I see with people is that when they're trying to lose weight or eat healthier or be healthier, get off medications, they try and do something that worked in the past. So they'll try something, the last thing that they did when they lost 10 pounds or more than that, or the thing that they did in their 20s. And they try and take their current lifestyle and just their current being, and they try and make it work with who they used to be and what life used to be and what worked in the past. And that rarely ever works. Um, and you can probably agree to this, right? You followed a program, you lost weight with it, it was a success, you were feeling better, and then life happened, you put some weight back on, and then you tried to repeat what you did before, and it didn't work. And that's because you're not the same person. And life is not the same. And to try and say that all you have to do is do what you did before, and things should work for you, that's not really a good plan. So where you want to actually start, you want to actually start with identifying what's working for you now. Identify what the rhythm of life is now, because as we get into our 40s, 50s, and 60s, there are other factors that exist now than when we were in our 20s and 30s. There are other people that we might be caretaking for. There are other variables that are pulling us in different directions. So to try and do what you did then is almost a guaranteed recipe for failure. I'm not going to say it's 100% because there's a handful of people that can do that and make their life stick that way. But for most people, that's not the case. And so you need to look at what your current life looks like. And instead of trying to work against it, against the momentum of the day, you need to try and figure out how to make your life fit with the momentum of the day. So back when I was doing physique competitions in my 20s and 30s, I worked out every day at 4 to 5 a.m. So if I was trying to do today what worked then, I'd be trying to get up at 4 and 5 a.m. But after having my own business and going through the last 15 years of life, I'm no longer that same person. Getting up, I need that sleep at 4 and 5 a.m. to try and force myself to get up and force the workouts there. It's just not going to work. You kind of need to figure out where things flow naturally. It's like going to a gym. If you're going to try and go to a gym that's 45 minutes away, totally not on your travel plan for each day, you're never going to gain consistency. So therefore, you're never going to get results. So a big part of looking at life and what's working now and what works with your current day is looking at how we can build consistency in the things that are really going to make a difference. Because if you get all the pieces right for a week and then you fall off for a week, you're never going to see the results. We need consistency day after day, week after week, month after month, in order for you to really see the health benefits in terms of reducing pain, inflammation, preventing disease, getting off of medications, as well as the fat loss benefits of losing inches, reclaiming lost muscle tone, reclaiming your figure. So it's such an important piece. So today, what I want you to take away is I want you to look at your life and I want you to send me a reply email to this and tell me what's working for you now. Like, what is working for you in terms of where you're getting exercise and movement? What is working for you in terms of your nutrition? What's going right? What is working for you in terms of your water intake? You know, and then what pieces are you struggling with? And let's just identify them, and then we can take a look at your life and figure out how to blend it together. Because again, if you have to work against your natural day, if you have to work against the natural flow of your day and your life, you're never going to gain the momentum and the consistency that you need. So it's a matter of identifying what will flow with your life and putting those pieces in place to gain the consistency and the momentum. And then you can layer on top of that. And it's such an important piece to lasting success and ending the yo-yo, um, is learning how to flow with your life. And then being able to recognize when it's time to adapt and change, because the flow of life changes, right? So you might have a flow for the days that you're taking care of a loved one, and you might have a flow for the days where it's just a normal everyday life. There might be seasons where you're taking care of parents or taking care of kids or grandkids, and there might be seasons where that's not as big a requirement, pulling on your time. So being able to recognize that and then figuring out how to make the pieces fit to flow with your life instead of trying to work against it is huge. So I just wanted to take a second and talk to you about that, because that's one of the most important pieces in terms of getting your mindset right to getting the results as you go through this program. Because if you're always trying to force the food, force the better eating, force the better water, force the exercise, it's going to just be a long uphill battle. We don't want it to be forced. We want it to flow with. So send me a reply and tell me what is working with your life right now. Tell me what's going right about your diet, exercise, water intake, sleep habits, stress management. Um, those are all the big things that we are going to be taking a look at in the next few months. So let's look at what pieces are working for you now, and then we will leverage them as we go forward. All right. Make it a great day, and I will talk to you soon.